What is going on, guys? Sean Don coming back at you with a technical analysis. Here we have Caleb Nickens of Buffalo. Lefty. 3 turns. Said he's focused on a flatter entry and feeling the ball stretch to 182 Qs that I'm all about. So let's see if he does a good job of executing that. No sound.
Not in a shy way.
4 turns. Sorry, not 3 turns. I can count. I definitely watch this video a lot before I did this analysis. 1, 2, yeah. Okay. So let's just get right into it. Yeah, you're definitely working on the right things with the whole flatter entry thing. That'll definitely help out a lot. As for feeling the ball stretch to 180, also good cue, but the way you set up the throw kind of makes that hard. If you can see through the throw, there is a lot of rotational energy. Kind of pull the ball across and then push it down and pull it across and push it down and pull it across, which creates a lot of rotational energy. And when you have too much rotational energy, it's hard to feel that ball stretch to 180. You can see the low point shifting. I mean, that's natural. I do the same thing in my throw. A lot of people do that in their throws. Low point starts way off to the to your left and comes back around to right about for your right foot in the release. Yeah. Like I said, I think you're working on the right stuff, but hopefully we can break this down and make things a little bit better for you. So, coming through the winds, the easiest thing to help your winds out, to help your entry out be flatter, is to keep your hands up in the winds. So, obviously, right at the start, your hands are pretty much up. Let the ball come a little bit more to your right. See, just a little bit early on turning back, catching back. So it's really short. It's going to be a very heavy throw over here on the left leg. Pardon me if I mess up the whole left-handed, right-handed thing. If I do that, I mean, I'm sure you're used to it, like most left-handed throwers are. But sorry in advance, because I'd say it's about like a 60-40 shot that I actually get it right. But yeah, so I know it's an 18-pound hammer. It's a little bit heavy, but got to keep your hands up. You can see your hands come back and drop down behind you. You turn your shoulders back, really good job, but you're a little bit too heavy over on this left leg. I'd say try to keep more weight. Try to keep this right hip over this right foot a little bit more. Really stabilize the hips. The more your hips move in the winds, the more unstable the entry will be, and the less stable the entry will be, the less consistent it'll be, and the less consistent it is, the less far you throw. But also, so you're going to want to think big winds and flat winds. So you can see the hands drop here, but then you can also see they're very tight to the body. What you want to try to do is, like I said, keep your hands up probably about sternum level, chest level, but then also reach your left arm out as far as you can to the left side and let your right arm, left arm also, left arm reaches wide out to the left here, and then also feel it come wide to the right over here. You want to make big circles with your hands. All right. As you can see, like I said, hands are just a little bit close to the body. Hands are a little bit down as well. Step up. Minor step up. I don't know if you're throwing in a disc ring, but if you are, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You don't want to overstep. You can see once again hips shift over to the left side quite a good bit. And same thing. You can see hands. Try to get this right arm. Feel this right elbow pull across just a little bit more. Get the ball a little bit wider out to the right side. You feel the ball come out to your right more. You'll also feel it come out to your left more, and you'll have better connection. Once again, the better you can feel it come around you to your right side, the easier it'll be to feel on the right side, which will also it'll be easier to feel on the left side, which will help you keep your hands up more. If you don't feel it over on the left side, then yeah, your hands are pretty much going to drop. And you can see, like I said, hips shift over to that left side a little bit too much, but then they shift back to the right. Like I said, just a lot of movement left and right. Try to keep it more stable in the center. I mean, you're doing a good job shifting back. Get back over this this right side, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, kind of in line. Very good here. like I said, still in line, but you can see the head leading the ball, and the shoulder and leg, just that right side's leading just a little bit. Um, and with the heavier balls, you really have to wait for the ball to pass. You can say you can think push harder or just be more patient. More patient is the right way to do it, but push harder and get the ball ahead more is the cheat to do it, and not necessarily the right way, but it is an option. I did that probably for the first 6 years of my throwing career. Thought I would just push the hell out of the ball and make it go faster, and that's what I did. But now I've learned if you just wait, the ball will accelerate on its own. But yeah, you can see your left elbow pulls down a little bit here. That's what kind of pulls your hands down too. So like I said, left elbow up, hands up, big winds will flatten everything out, and that'll help a lot. You can see, I mean, like you're using this left leg a good bit to get over back over to this right side, but you need to be a little bit more on the ball of the foot. As you can see, you're very flat-footed, and there's nothing turning here with this with this left foot, and that's why this right side has to do a lot of turning, and that's what creates a lot of, like I said, that rotational energy that I talked about earlier. That's kind of why it's hard to probably feel the ball stretch to 180. But yeah, you can see it's like decent patience, but you can see, yeah, that right side, head, shoulder, hip, knee, foot, all that stuff is just turned a solid 45 degrees ahead of where the ball is at. So as the ball comes through zero, you pretty much want everything to still be facing zero, and the ball goes and you turn with it. You can be slightly ahead of it, but maybe 10 degrees or so, but with you leading the ball in like that, yeah, it's just going to create too much rotational energy. And like I said, I think that left leg right here, you can see is not doing much. It doesn't really start turning until the ball already gets to zero, when it should be turning. You should be thinking about turning it as the ball pretty much comes off, would it be 90 for you? Everything's flipped. You're trying to keep it flat, but like I said, still just a little bit down over here. Low point, like I said, is too far off to the, you can see the low point is probably like right there, right at about 90 instead of closer to zero. Once again, the more the low point is off to your left, the more the right side is going to have to do to pull the ball around to complete the turn. So try to get that low point set up just a little bit, like think maybe just inside your feet. Get that low point set up like right in here, rather than off so much to the left. People try to do that and set the low point up more to the left, or if you're right-handed, off to the right, because, like I said, the low point shifts, but the low point shifts because your lower body isn't connected to the ball, and if your lower body isn't connected to the ball, then it's not a very efficient system. So, got to get your posture right, which I'm sure we'll see here in a second. Like I said, right side just leaning a good bit, left side, left leg back behind, not turning much, letting the ball come through. I mean, pretty stable entry. That right side holds. I mean, it doesn't shift back too much as the ball comes through zero, but like I said, it's just leading too much right from the start. That left leg's getting far behind now. Like I said, it's not turning much, and it finally starts to catch up here as it comes off the single support, or as the ball comes to about 270. High point is once again at about 270. Low point at 90, high point 270 makes sense. Once again, it should be closer to zero and 180, or at least maybe like 45 degrees before zero and 45 degrees before 180, at least in this first turn. I think if the low point in the orbit and the high point and all that stuff is too off, like I said, it just creates problems. It's a band-aid, if you will, to fix currently existing problems. As for feeling the stretch to 180, if you can really at this point right here, if you can feel your arm, you could actively do it. Push your hands forwards. Obviously you want to feel the ball take you out there, but you can sort of artificially create that feeling. Fun fact. But right hip, or left hip, sorry, needs to come and drive step towards the ball. As you can see, your hips are a little bit back here. As the ball goes to 180, you also want to feel your hips drive towards the high point. Left leg's a little bit low around this right leg, kind of discusy, sort of like a very short discus turn, and that's why you kind of catch a little bit late. Posture's not bad, but you can see you step around. This left leg comes around. You catch and your hips are turned ahead of the ball, your shoulders are back facing the ball, but there's a lot of separation between the upper and lower body, and I'm personally not a fan of that. I think your hips could be a little bit more square to the ball on the catch. It helps you stay with it, helps you turn with it. The more separation you have, the harder it is to feel the ball and turn with it. But yeah, you catch, come down. Like I said, posture is not bad. Hips a little bit forwards, could be a little bit more forwards. Shoulders, this right shoulder could be back more over this right hip, but overall not bad. But then yeah, when you come down, you land ball to foot and then come down kind of flat-footed. And same thing, you can see this right side start to do a lot of work. Turn ahead, turn ahead, turn ahead. Finally takes a couple frames for that left foot to start turning and kick in. Better patience here. Like I said, so this is the kind of separation that I'm talking about. Like 10 degrees or so, everything's pretty much facing zero. Ball's almost there. This is much better. You need this in your entry. The more you can do this in your entry, the more connected you'll be, the better you'll feel that stretch to 180, and the better the whole throw will go. But yeah, when you catch, try to stay on that ball with the foot, turn that left foot with the ball. Like I said, there's just a little bit of this right side going ahead, but then you really catch up as the ball comes through zero, so that's good. But then you see this right foot continue to do too much, as you see when it turns independently. You can see these few frames here when it almost turns independently of this left leg. Hands are a little bit tight. Let the ball stretch out to 270 more. Stretch out to the right side more. Try to reach out and feel the cage. Feel the looseness between the shoulder blades. Like I said, this left foot's just getting left behind a little bit. When it starts to catch up, see your hands lifting a little bit. This is part of the reason why your orbit shifts and why you feel the need to start with the orbit more off to the left, because when you lift your hands, as ball goes out to the sector, it's going to shift that high point, which also then shifts the low point. So relax the arms more, let them stretch out. Like you said, stretch to 180. Decent single support once again, kind of around this left, or this left leg kind of comes around the right leg. You once again kind of step around. You see hips turn once again ahead of the ball, instead of being your knees and hips being a little bit more square back to the ball. You catch, once again, same thing, ball to foot, heel comes down, and then right side takes over, and then it isn't until zero that that left side catches up. You start turning, but then yeah, that's right here. Once again, right side takes off, and left side gets left behind a little bit, so you're playing catch up. Less lifting here as you relax more, feel the ball more, but still a little bit. You can see it just slightly. You can see the angle between the arms and that wire just slightly elevated or different, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, hip driving towards the high point now, much better. So you catch, but then yeah, same thing. You see, you come around. You want to think about kind of stepping more towards the sector and keeping this left knee, hip, everything just more square to the ball. As you can see, this left foot's already kind of pre-turned, and that's kind of missing out on some double support. Like if you put that right foot down, you could have it down right here if you just, that left foot, yeah, you could have it down if you just thought about stepping more towards the ball, more towards the sector instead of coming around. So you miss out on 3 frames or so of double support, and therefore 30 degrees or so. You come down, once again, ball to foot, heel comes down. You got to stay up on the ball foot, bud. A little tightness up in the shoulders through the, you can see your right bicep kind of clamping your chest. A little tight. Try to relax and get your arms out a little bit more. And then same thing, that right side turns ahead, right foot kind of flops open a little bit, left foot gets left behind. And you can see that, so that low point, because of the lifting and pulling and pushing and stuff like that, you can see it shifts to just after zero. And then same thing, yeah, right foot kind of flops open, left leg, left hip, once again going more towards the ball, which is very good. But yeah, still kind of peeling off. You see this foot peel off the ground and very plantar flexed. It means you're using too much right side. And then that left leg comes around the right again, and you catch a little bit more square. Posture decent here, right shoulder, hip, heel kind of lined up pretty well. And then come through the finish pretty strong. But you can still see even here that you want this right side to stay where it is, and you want the ball to finish around it, but as you can see, this right shoulder pulls back. All right. So overall, lots of things you can work on. But if you fix the entry and you fix the winds, that'll fix the most. So like I said, hands up, big winds, feel the ball, go out to the right and the left, and then um, keep those hips more stable over this right side. If you do that, it'll help connection and feeling, and then the better connection and feeling you have, the better patience you'll be able to have in the entry. It means you wait for the ball more. But yeah, it's just this entry motion right here with this right side is just too overactive, and that's kind of what throws everything off. So yeah, fix that winds, fix that entry, and you'll be on your way, man. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. If anybody out there wants a technical analysis of their own, go to SeanDonnelly.biz, sign up for an in-depth technical analysis on the services page, and let's get to work. It's the NCAA is coming up here for Division One, Division Two, and Three just finished up, so it's the off season for probably most of you guys. So get that technical analysis, and let's make them changes for next season so you guys can crush BRs and yeah, just dominate. So all right, thanks for watching. Sean Don, peace out.